Horse-faced spaceballs. You really thought you had something, didn't you? Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You guys doing good this morning? I hope so. Because we're going to be playing some World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. Farming up some gold. We got about 400 more gold to farm, so... Got our coffee. Hope you guys are nice and ready for the day. You know, I got stuff later today, so we're getting this out. You know, just having our nice morning coffee, morning World of Warcraft. Just enjoying ourselves. Yeah, so I really like how things are going lately. Like with like my regular like kind of trying to like separate a lot of the bullshit that my stream has like kind of gone through. Like my streaming vibe has kind of changed multiple times over these past like 6 years. And I think a lot of it is just kind of trial and error. Like just figuring out like which things actually like feel like it's a meaningful part of my vibe that I'm trying to create here on the stream, but also I think a lot of it is like learning like what kind of stuff I really want to focus on. And I think it's like sometimes we've talked about like I've got dragged into a lot of political topics. I think any streamer, I don't think it has any. I'm trying to also like separate like there's certain ideas that we have where we think that it's personal, where we think that it's because I'm, for example, because I'm a woman or because I'm a trans woman, which both of those things influence, you know, the kind of pressure that I feel when I hear about things, you know, in the news and stuff like that. Or things that affect the queer community, which is, you know, something I'm, you know, maybe not directly involved in a lot of the culture. I'm not a political person. I'm not an activist. I have other goals in my life. From Norway. Hey Kim, how you doing? Oh, now I know why it shows asterisks. Okay, I have been accidentally muting people because they spammed asterisks. I thought it was something else. Okay. I am so sorry. Those people are probably not coming back anyway, but yeah, I did not know that. It's just people doing YouTube emotes. I'm so stupid. It's because I was doing TTS and I banned, I like muted, I like blacklisted all of like the YouTube emotes. Hi from Arizona. Who's this chick? This is rebeccaloran coming to you live from California on the airwaves. You're of course allowed to comment. What are you talking about? But basically, I have like learned a couple of different things about like I kind of want to just be more casual and more like steering towards the direction of like comedy, like topical conversations, nerd culture. Obviously I am a very deeply emotional person, and I do connect a lot to the human condition and like politics and stuff like that. But I think I need to direct that in my short stories and my novels and in my like articles, essays, you know, deep work. I think I need to focus that energy away from my live stream and more into my deep work, like novels, short stories, like blog articles. Actually, I want to start like, you know, my Medium and my Substack. I really need to get some essays out there. I have not really felt like that kind of energy lately. I've just been kind of focusing more on my general writing process. Not so much directing it into, like, I've written a few scenes for my novel, but I think I need to give it time. I think it's just a matter of time and repetition, getting myself into like understanding my writing routine, how to meet deadlines. Those are important because if I just say, oh, I want to write more blog articles, well, that's so nebulous if I don't have like a daily routine of like, okay, I'm going to write about this topic. I want to like, you know, pull from these sources, you know, gather the sources. I could be creating a notepad of like links to different like resources or you know, copy paste some different quotes for, you know, having sources and such like that, citations. Ignorant trolls, those poor unfortunate souls. Nebulous? Nebulous means it's like just kind of like nebula is like in space, right? What do I write? I write mostly journals, but you know, personal exploration of like my thought process. However, I do a lot of world building. I am writing a novel. It is pretty far along. It's not ready. And I don't want to partially publish it. I've already somewhat partially published some preliminary versions in like, you know, AI generated graphic novel form. You can check it out on my blog if you want. rebeccaloran.blog. What's your malfunction? What's your major malfunction? Full Metal Jacket. Life is balls. For real. It's called Even Star. And you should check it out. I do have like a kind of demo. It's more of a character, more like a character sketch of all the characters that are the main point of view, like the main POV characters. In fact, those 6 chapters include 100% of the main point of view characters. You just checked? You like my cans? I don't have any soda cans. Well, I got tits. Tuesdays with Maury? No, I haven't. I'll have to check it out. What do you do for work? I am permanently disabled. Who cares? You are harassing children! Children! Who cares? What is wrong with you? You are trolling children! Do you have a boyfriend? No. Prove it. Mentally, I am permanently disabled. I don't really need to get into it. I don't need to justify my disability. I am connected to resources and I am actively working on improving my life. And we're actually very close to moving out of this dump. So where is balls? I have no balls. I have a vagina. Man having a shirt off on stream? I'm not a man. I have areolas. I have breasts. I would get banned immediately. You have no idea. In fact, I've been banned before for accidental nip slips. That's why I started wearing either thick sweaters or bras. Ball is life. True. How much coffee do you drink? Well, this is like 1.5 cups. What part of USA? I am in California. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm one of those woke bitches you heard about on the internet. Yeah, exactly, Mike Phileas. You should never have to validate why you're disabled. Exactly. I get SSI. I get monthly payments, but that's not going to be forever. I am working on a career. In fact, I started a job this week. I'm building up my modeling career. It literally is a modeling gig. And I'm getting paid. So, you know, put on a small t-shirt. We're not really in that vibe. We're in an early morning coffee vibe. Okay, we're chill, casual. This isn't a titty stream. Give us an advice. Stop asking for advice from live streamers on the internet. That's like my number one advice. You think I'm wrong, but I'm right. Trust me. Latte is life. No, we drink our coffee black. Trans Kurt Cobain? I mean, that sounds like a pretty, like... I mean, obviously, you know, unfortunately, you know, that it was tragic, you know, but his life, like... I mean, yeah, his work, at least. I don't know about his life, but his work... I mean, that's like... It sounds like a compliment. Americano is for weirdos. This isn't Americano. It's not. It's just coffee. It's just black coffee. It's just raw grind. Like I have like a manual coffee grinder. I can show you guys. Yeah, so I got like a manual coffee grinder. There's no coffee beans in there. Add milk and sugar? No. Sometimes I add butter. You see, there's like some left. I unfortunately didn't put it all into the, you see, it's like, it's adjustable. You can't really see. Oh yeah, now you can see the numbers. Yeah, it's on like a 7 grind. This is like a manual bird grinder. It's pretty awesome. I don't have to plug it in. It's relatively quiet. I mean, it does sound like crunching when you actually have beans in there. Add something? No. They're the best type. Exactly, because I mean, it's just like I don't have to worry about electricity. As long as I can make hot water. So, I mean, I could use it while camping, right? You smoking meth? Jesse! We have to cook! Ceramic? It's like stainless steel. I'm pretty sure. Where do you buy the manual one? I got it on Amazon. It wasn't even that expensive, too. I mean, it wasn't like cheap, but it wasn't expensive. I'm living too far away. You love to cooking? I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Well, hello from the opposite side of the country. I'm not a cranker. LGBTQ stream? I mean, like, I am technically part of that string of letters. I am transgender, but this isn't like an LGBTQ stream. We're playing World of Warcraft, The Burning Crusade. We are nerding it the fuck up. Okay, so like, we are dehydrated. Oh, we just drank a ton of water. We even have some backup water when we're ready. Oh, thank you so much, Carlos. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. A wanka. Yeah, we're a wanka. I'm white as fuck, okay? Like, I don't know what... Oh my god. You need that type of cup? Good sex? Why, though? Why? 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 We're just waking up. We're getting ourselves started. We gotta pump it up, cause don't you know, pump it up. We got to pump it up, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Lemon grab. Why did I... The first one? Oh, you mean this one? So you don't like good sex? You like bad sex? My kind of man. You guys are crazy out there. Come on, I'm not black. I'm sorry, I like my coffee black. But I am white and like Native American. I'm actually Creek Nation, which is like, well, they're currently located in Oklahoma, but they're from like more like the, like kind of like, I think like more northeast of that. Like kind of like the Creek area of Native nations. So Muskegee and Cherokee are my like ancestry, but I'm also French, like French Canadian. So I'm like French, like rebeccaloran. Okay, maybe I pronounced that wrong, but I pronounce it Lauren. Greta Thunberg. What? Vicious Knuckles. What the fuck are you talking about, Brensky? Wait, am I black? Why my voice so deep? Your voice is fucking high as fuck. Yo, I'm not black. You know, honestly, like, you got a problem with black people? What the fuck? Dude, black people are awesome. They have like a huge like culture of like dealing with things, and like also comedy. Like holy shit. And it makes more sense now that I'm older and I understand the cultural reference. Some things are funny, but then like you look back and you're like, oh shit. Like it's based in like reality, and like holy shit. Some things like I don't know how, you know, it's I'm really like learning as a trans woman that we need to grow the fuck up. We need to learn from black people. In fact, like, you know, the civil rights movement, I know I said we weren't really going to get into politics. Maybe I'm going to put this energy more into my essays. This is a good essay topic. Maybe I'm just going to kind of give like the title, like basically, the thesis. Basically, trans women were a large, like a portion, maybe not all, there were trans women involved, like closely with some men and women in the black community during the 60s and 70s during the civil rights movement. As you know, like a black trans woman threw the first brick at Stonewall, and the government's trying to erase it. So fuck the government. Stop trying to rewrite history. They say, oh, only the winners rewrite history. No, losers rewrite history. Okay? Winners deal with reality. And you do something about it. That's what winners do. We're gonna win in the end. With truth and justice and love for our fellow human. Okay? And that's what I'm running on my campaign for president. I am 38 years old. I can legally run for president. And I am an American citizen. So, the movie Transformers, I'm a transformer! There's no trans women, only people who are banned. MAGA. America! They threw it at the wall. I mean, I don't even know what the exact, like, was it at a window? Was it at a wall? Was it at your mom? I don't know, man. I'm not, okay, Brensky, I'm timing you out. You're really, like, being disrespectful. I am not black. I have never claimed to be black. I don't know what your problem is, bro. Like, I mean, I love that you like black people, but I am not claiming to be black. Like, what the fuck? A Decepticon? Did you just call me Megatron? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Megatron. You know, that's actually like a compliment. Like, Megatron's a badass, dude. He's like Magneto, but like Transformers. Your life is just filler episodes? Yeah, guys, let's go get some coffee from Acosta Country. Everybody's life is just filler episodes. Have you been asleep? Yeah, I just woke up. We're having coffee. Chat, you guys need to learn how to love yourself. I'm rebeccaloran. I'm going to tell you about self-love. Today's stream is about wokeness and how you need to be awoke by drinking coffee. Yeah, my coffee beans are organic, vegan, grown with love and care by gay trans transformers. Okay, so like they are transformers, they are cyborg, they are not androids. Okay, stop calling them androids. They are cyborgs, they have human minds. They are not androids. They are cyborgs, they can transform into different things. Okay, druids and shapeshifters have been a part of our culture for all history. Okay, stop pretending that it's a new fad. Okay, this isn't some woke phase on TikTok. Okay, shapeshifters, transformers, they're real people. Okay, druids, they have been in history for thousands of years. Okay, shapeshifters, they turn into different animal spirits. Okay, like they are part of the world. They are part of storytelling. Okay, shapeshifters have existed. Haven't you seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine? Odo! Odo! Enough said. Enough said. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You need to watch it. You need to watch all of it. Because Star Trek Deep Space Nine is the core of Star Trek. You will not convince me otherwise. I mean, Picard, Star Trek The Next Generation, yes, fundamental. Of course, Star Trek the original series started it all. Okay, the movies. Yes, Star Trek the original series, movie 1 through 6. Yes, but then Star Trek The Next Generation took it to the next level. And then Deep Space Nine put it all together. It just put it all together into a nice, beautiful bowl of gumbo, okay? So it's so fucking delicious. It talks about the human condition. It talks about like what it really means during wartime. Okay, so like the storytelling in Deep Space Nine, if you haven't appreciated Deep Space Nine, watch it again and truly watch it. I mean like truly watch it. Pay attention. Take notes. Okay, like Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Chef's kiss. Chromosomes are phobic? Exactly. Magic lady cast a spell. Organic woman. Shapeshifters, we should burn. I mean, see, you're one of those people that burns witches at the stake, aren't you? Okay, witches and druids, they have shaped our culture for thousands of years. They have cast magic. Okay, and magic is not what you think it is. Okay, they change your mind by opening you up to different realities. That is magic. You guys ready to farm up some gold? I'm procrastinating here. We need to play some World of Warcraft, bitches. Let's get the fuck in there. Jesus fucking Christ. Deep Space Nine. Hell yeah. No, I mean, it has some real fucking episodes, bro. Like, it's more relevant today than it even was back in the 90s. La 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 la. You know, people have been loving trans women for like ever. Okay, do you know, like, even like songs like Lola, for example. People keep convincing themselves that trans women are men, but these same men are not gay. They're not attracted to men. They're attracted to trans women. Even trans women who have dicks, especially trans women who have dicks. Although I am post-op, so maybe those same men might not like me as much because they're into the kind of novelty. You know, if you like dick, just like, you know, but you're not gay, just be with trans women with dicks, like pre-op trans women. Like, I'm into pre-op trans women. Now that makes me gay because they're women, but and I'm a woman, so but you know, like just be into dick. What's wrong with that? And if you liked meat spin, well, I have news for you. The source porn on that was a trans woman. So you're into trans dick. It is fundamentally different. Estrogen changes the way the things are. It also changes how things smell. So if you like trans dick, it's fundamentally different than male dick. Your first encounter? Blacks invented everything. Trans women are real women. Exactly, dude. Black people are awesome. And I'm tired of woke people trying to erase black culture. Like, dude, black people say black. They say, you know, they used to say different words, but that was actually, a lot of words were invented by white people. We're not really going to go there. I'm staying in my own lane. But at the same time, I'm not going to erase black culture. I'm not going to step on eggshells. And most black people I've talked to have been really, have respected me for, like, not being, like, super, like, oh, like, you know, we say African American. No, black. What's wrong with that? They're not from Africa. They're Americans. Anyway, I mean, there's white people in Africa. Like, what the fuck? Your roommate just looked at me like you have a problem? Well, you know, maybe your roommate just has a crush on you. You're snowed in at home? Fuck! Are you cold? Yeah, black coffee. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's get a hell yeah in chat. Their culture was stolen. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history in Africa, for real. Like, you know, there's some, you know, just like in European history, there's some bloody stuff, you know. But, you know, there's definitely a culture. I would love to find out more. I'm not very versed in a lot of different world cultures. Oh shit, my swing timers moved. I think it got updated. Now and then they moved. They were locked. Let me move this one just... Okay, there we go. Give myself a little bit more room there. Okay, let me lock them. Here we go. Weapon swing timer, lock all bars. Take away the welcome message. I don't know why they reset it. We're killing the Twilight Avengers. Is this Roblox? Yes. No, this is World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. Get it right. Are you transgender? Yes. But, you know, we're not, like, gonna talk about it all the time. I hope you understand that. I hope you respect that. I know there's a lot of trans people. I'm not gonna say everybody's transphobic. There's also a lot of trans people who are interested in me talking about stuff. Now, I do talk about stuff, and I'm always interested in helping, you know, kind of guide people, you know, or inspire people to like not give up hope and stuff. But I want to make things clear. I am not a trans content creator. I'm a content creator who happens to be trans. And I know that, like, that's kind of like right now we're in a very politically sensitive time, and I should probably put my energy more into like essay writing and put it on Substack. Now, maybe on my essay writing, I'm going to be more focused on that. I'm very inspired by writers such as James Baldwin. I still have to read more of his essays. I'm very inspired by his work because he was part of the Black movement, but he was also being asked, in a way, to be more involved in the Black movement. But he thought that that was... his core belief was that he's a human first. And that, like, he wanted to not just, like, be, like, the token political Black activist. Because a lot of people in the civil rights movement in the Black community were trying to pull him in to be, like, a spokesperson for the Black people. But it's like, he can only speak for himself. You know, his father was a pastor. He's also queer. You know, I'm pretty sure he was, like, you know, bisexual. Like, you know, he moved to France because of the political environment that was in the United States. But it's just like, you know, James Baldwin, I like his writing style. He's just no nonsense, talks about the human condition, but as a Black man and filtered through his unique experience. And I think that's like, we can all learn from him in the trans community, because it's like, I think right now things are so politically active that people are running purely on emotions. And I feel like we need to kind of take a step back and kind of learn some humility, and that we're humans first. Studs are white? I don't know about that. I mean, studs are all sorts of demographics. There's all sorts of studs out there. Do you think people who don't support xenogenders? I don't know what a xenogender is. Xenomorphs? Like alien? Like Sigourney Weaver? Dude, Sigourney Weaver's fucking hot. I don't know if they're Nazis or bigots. I think there's a very specific activity that makes somebody a Nazi or a bigot. But I think it's more of a pattern of behavior over time. I don't think, like, misgendering somebody one time because you're not quite sure, or, you know, like, I think when it comes to me, people who are misgendering me are doing it definitely on purpose. I'm clearly presenting as female. I'm already post-op. I've been on hormones for 6 years. I do not get misgendered in public by strangers. There's no issues when I'm in female, like, women's spaces. There are no issues. So people who think that like I'm, like, you know, ambiguous, they're just trying to be volatile. I mean, inflammatory. Well, I mean, I feel like the thing that I want to learn from James Baldwin is that the more we feel oppressed, the more we oppress ourselves. And I think we can learn from that in the trans community, because we are just humans who are oppressed, but the more we victimize ourselves, the more we fall prey to that. We fall victim to being a victim. And it's like, I have a lot of privilege. I do. I was able to get my surgeries. Do you know how big of a deal that is? Now, it shouldn't have been so hard. And I hope that people who come after me don't have to fight so hard clinging to life just to get these. But you know, I'm pretty privileged. I got all my surgeries, and sometimes I have to humble myself. Not everything is because I'm trans. Some things are just because maybe it's random. Also, there are things that are just maybe my fault. You know, I need to take responsibility for my own actions. Why is this even a thing? Because people exist and people are nuanced, and trans people have, you know, gender is very flexible. It has been around since the beginning of time. We just, you know, technology and science, like in medicine, has just, you know, caught up since the 1930s. No, I'm a woman. I'm not a guy. So, you know, 1930s, we synthesized estrogen, and that changed everything for trans people. Because before then, trans people could only express their gender through social means, dressing up or anything like that. But in the 1930s, we synthesized estrogen, and doctors started researching transgender medicine, such as vaginoplasty. Now, back then, things like phalloplasty for female to male people weren't really a thing. That's more of a modern development. But it's completely different ball game. But the male to female, like vaginoplasty, was starting to be developed in the 1930s. I think the first surgery was in 1933. And we don't really need to do a full history lesson, but there was a certain regime that ended a lot of research and set it back like 30 years at least. Ain't no hanging. I don't have anything hanging. No, I got it all. I got a nip and a tuck. I mean, if you like to toss salad, then you like to toss salad. I mean, nothing wrong with that. When you get Alzheimer's and look down, I mean, I don't have a penis. I have a vagina. You guys need to grow up. Trans people have been around forever. The only thing that's changed is medicine has evolved significantly in the past, like, 90 years. And even, like, 90 years ago, they were already developing surgeries and hormones. You can get a duck back? I don't know what the fuck that means. Yeah, I mean, taxpayer money should enrich all communities, not just trans communities, but... You know, I am a beneficiary of, you know, like, I'm in poverty, so I get, like, and I'm also disabled, and I get SSI, and I also got, like, partnership healthcare, Medi-Cal partnership. It paid for my surgeries. It paid for everything except for the hair, the electrolysis. Yeah, people are obsessed with genitals. You know how it's, like, it's always been a thing. It's usually guys, actually. To be fair... Oh, I just died? What the fuck? To be fair, women are also obsessed with their genitals, but in a different way. I know it's hard for a lot of women to accept this, but, like, women are also obsessed with their genitals when it comes to, like, breasts. Also, you know, some women are super hyper fixated on having a vagina, although male culture is a little bit more externalized, where, like, a lot of guys will just grab their crotch in public, and it's just normalized. I want to be sedated? Don't. What the fuck? You have spent more time at researching this than legit doing... What are you talking about? First of all, it makes sense that I researched something that I have put 5 years of my life into, doesn't it? Right? Like, seriously, I'm a transgender person and I got surgeries. Don't you want people to research something that is giving permanent body changes? Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that what everybody who is anti-trans is asking us to do? I did everything you guys wanted. I took 5 years. I researched everything. I like made sure my health was I mean, I had to make sure my health was under control. Or, you know, my surgery got canceled because my diabetes wasn't quite dialed in. My doctor did not want to operate until it was, like, even more dialed in. So, like, what are you talking about, bro? What do you want? Like, I don't know what this community of anti-trans people truly wants. You say you don't like woke stuff, but you're the guys who are constantly bringing up wokeness. You are the guys who are constantly bringing up the fact that I'm trans. You guys are the ones who are telling me to, like, think harder about it, to research about it, to not do, oh, you're doing irreversible changes. It's like, well, it was a change that mattered to me. Of course it's irreversible. Thank God. That's the whole point. Like, you guys don't understand. You won't even listen. I don't understand this obsession that people have. Like, what do you want? Because I am trying my best to kind of meet you halfway here. I'm one of those trans people that is trying to like meet you halfway. I'm actually trying to listen and understand you. What do you want from me? What more do you want? Like, it sounds like you're just wanting for me to not exist, and I cannot do that. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Which is why I'm just gonna kick people out, you know? Like, if you're gonna be that, like, unwilling to even give me any kind of wiggle room to exist, then why should you exist in my chat? Like, that's all there is to it. Like, I'm willing to talk about more things than a lot of trans people are. And I'm probably not the only one, too. I think it's actually more common that trans women and trans men are more like me than what you think trans people are. Because I think the loudest people are the minority. I mean, it makes sense, though, right? Like, if you're a minority among a group, you have to be louder. So it's, like, you know, because people are mostly not going to listen. I think most trans people are probably more like me. Just kind of trying to live our lives, like, not really trying to push any kind of agenda, except, you know, my own agenda of living my life. I just don't leave those kids alone. You're just another brick in the wall. I see. I'm gonna time you out, Red Hood, because actually I'm just gonna add you to block list, because you have a fundamental misunderstanding of scientifically researched, medically necessary healthcare, and I am sick and tired of people insisting that there's some kind of grooming going on. You guys pulled me into this discussion because this is what you're bringing to my chat, but I'm going to kind of end this conversation right now with saying, you guys keep saying to leave kids alone, but you are the guys who constantly insist that male and female ideology is the only ideology, but anything deviating from that is somehow negative. Even though you guys are constantly bringing ideology by saying, oh, male is male and female is female and it's blue and pink, and like you guys are obsessed with binary gender. That is itself a gender ideology. You guys are obsessed with insisting that, you know, you bring your children to church before they're even developed. You talk about the military like it's a good thing to join as early as, I think, like 4th grade now. You put iPads in front of your children before they can even critically think. You guys are like brainwashing your kids like way more than the LGBTQ community. LGBTQ community is just saying, hey, you're loved and you are not a deviant, you belong in society. That is the only movement that the LGBTQ movement is. Anything else is something that you imagined in your own head because you're twisted, because that's how you think reality is because it happened to you. Because you were brainwashed, because you were groomed, you were told that life is only one thing by adults who have an agenda, and you think that the whole world operates that way. And I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm really sorry that happened to you. But stop hurting other people just because you have a very narrow vision of reality. Anyway, I'm going to put that to an end. We're just farming some gold on World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, have a good morning with you guys. If you guys want to talk politics, you guys can go to someone like Asmongold or some shit. You know, we're not here for that. I will talk about it, but like, I'm kind of done with it. I'm just gonna block people, and that's about all there is to it. Okay, I need to change that shading because I don't know what happened in the new LVY 15, but like, it used to be like completely night and day, and now I can't even see because I'm a warrior. The brown like blends in with that color, and I can't tell if I'm low HP or not, even though 'cause sometimes it's easier to look at this one than it is on the top left than it is to look at the one to my right with my weak aura. So I need to change this shit. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, colors. There we go. No, not aura bars. I think it's gonna be individual. Oh no, it's gonna be colors, or is it gonna be frame glow? No. Health. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. No, not transparent. Tapped. Ah! Health. Yeah, let's just make it black. Oh no, no, it's the health backdrop. Color the backdrop by class or reaction. Let's just see how that changes. Because I'm at full health right now. I mean, okay, I'm yeah, we need to see how my health is affected by this. Okay. If I even take any health. Okay, well okay, now it's not even dropping at all. Because I did by class color. Okay, we need to remove that one. Because that's just completely ridiculous. We're not doing it by class. Oh, okay, no, it's still the wrong color. Oop. Reaction color, no. Custom backdrop. Oh, the red is like obvious, but let's just make it there we go. That's way better. That's way better. There we go. Now I can actually see when it goes down. Are you making an MMO? No. We're playing one. We're playing World of Warcraft: The Burning Crusade. I'm sorry, I'm not that creative. I'm not a programmer or a game designer. I am writing a novel though. I mean, OG Digger, I mean, you have your right to enjoy whatever you like. If you like women with big, strong, masculine hands, then, I mean, that's what you're into. I'm not going to judge you. I don't know why you think... Are you trying to get a reaction out of me? Like, I don't know what's going on. This guy. Trash. Yeah, I don't know why you guys are so hateful. Exactly. Hello, 515. You're not LGBTQ, and that's fine. You're welcome here if you're not LGBT. Like, this isn't just a LGBTQ space. This is for everybody. Which is the whole idea of LGBTQ. Like, everyone's welcome. Now, if you're going to harass people, that's a different story. That's a behavior, not an identity. And which is why I feel like, you know, you deserve a chance to change. You know, like, everybody has dark moments in their life. Some people have even been in extremely violent, hateful groups. And they kind of like figured out like, hey, like I don't like where my life is going. I'm surrounding myself in hate, and this isn't the kind of life I want to have. And then they remove themselves. Now, unfortunately, there are social consequences, but I try to give people a chance the best I can. Like, you know, I'm not going to be somebody to cancel someone unless it's something that's like, hey, this is clearly like, you know, I need to distance myself from this kind of behavior. But you just want to see it? Well, you can follow me on my socials. Oh, you know what's going on here? Well, I'm not battle shouting. I need to sharpen my weapon. Do you care, Raymond? I mean, you said ask me if I care. If you're writing a novel, then you are creative. Exactly. I mean, but I'm not like I'm not that kind of creative. I'm not making an MMO, and I think like making an MMO is like kind of a risk. But if that's what you want to do it. But don't expect it to make millions of dollars, because World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV and old school RuneScape are the absolute top of the game. And if you think you're going to compete with them, good luck. But you better have something that's really unique, or maybe you should find people who really like your game. Like, you should make your game organically. Don't cater to trying to chase what's popular, because you're not going to compete with that. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV is going to do that. You know, find a dedicated player base. Start with just 1 or 2 players. And ironically, stop trying to think about massively multiplayer as needing thousands and thousands of players. You should try to think about, what can a single player do? If a single player can play the game and still enjoy it, that means multiple people can as well, if it's integrated right. So find a core group of people that can support the game. If you have a dedicated lifetime audience, like, they're gonna play the game for like at least like they're not gonna just quit after a month. You know, like, if you have a core group of people that like are ride or die, this is their community, this is their game. I feel like that's the only way to make an MMO happen nowadays, because then it doesn't matter. You could just put it up on Steam. If you don't put too much money into developing it, but if you support it with the community itself, like, hey, like the subscription, you know that the players are dedicated, that you have like a dedicated like Discord where every single person in the community is 100% behind the game, even if you only have like 10 players, right? Jesus Christ, I'm like dying here. What's going on? Like, what's happening? I'm just getting immolated. Jesus Christ. It's those Flame Reavers. Those Flame Reavers are dangerous. Holy shit. This is World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. You're getting offline? Yeah, well, I'm not PGT, I'm sorry, but I'm not a pre-op trans girl, but there's plenty of pre-op trans girls out there. And I don't like the idea of like pre-op, post-op, because there are non-op. Like, they're not ever planning to get the surgery, and I think that should be respected. Like, people should have respect for the, you know, for like, you know, understanding like their own body and loving their own body. And I think men should love their own body. I think women should love their own body. With trans people, I really want trans people to love their own body, but that's different for everybody. Like, a man is not going to love his body the same way as any other man, let alone other like women. I don't think that I don't understand what this like need for like a universal standard. Everybody should love their body this way, and if you don't love your body the way it was born, then there's something wrong with you. It's like, dude, like, people change things. You know, I'm wearing glasses. Like, are you just gonna say that I should just be okay with, like, not having, like... Oh, shit. It's an elite. Or maybe it's not an elite. Okay, never mind. Well, retaliation is definitely gonna make sure I survive that. Okay, so... I just don't want to waste my, I don't want to have to run back and also use my Elixir of the Giants again. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Kansas. I mean, I'm not going to run your name through the mud. I'm just going to set boundaries. That's all I'm going to do. I'm sorry if your opinions have caused you real-life consequences. I don't know what those are, so I can't comment on them. But what I can say is that as long as you're polite and open-minded and not harassing me, then you're welcome here. Just like trans people are. But even trans people, if they start harassing me or harassing other people, they're not welcome here either. I try to create an equal space for people of openness and giving people chances. Because if I'm not willing to give other people chances, why would I expect people to give me a chance? Like, that's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that. And maybe that makes me, maybe that's a little controversial. There's a lot of trans people who just hate anybody who doesn't support LGBTQ. But how are people supposed to learn if we just cancel them all the time? I know, like, Cutie Cinderella got a lot of hate for that. But she's right. Like, but, you know, I think the difference is somebody has, like, a pattern of just being extremely closed-minded and refusing to even meet you anywhere near halfway, then it's time to set boundaries and, like, say goodbye to those people. But it doesn't mean, I'm not going to, like, try to ruin someone's job. They're going to do that to themselves. If people don't like you, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You can get fired for farting in the office, right? Like, hey, go to the bathroom. And if you refuse to go to the bathroom and you continue to fart even on purpose, now it's one thing if you have like a medical condition, it's like that's different. But like if you're doing it on purpose because you're just trying to make people, you're like, oh, it's funny. Well, they're going to fire you. It's all there is to it. You can have your opinion, but you have to work with other people. We have to get along. We have to like collaborate. Like, come on, at least meet people halfway. At least sometimes, you know, keep your opinions to yourself or keep it on, like, you know, the internet. I understand that sometimes people will... I'm kind of frustrated about this because it could probably affect me. It does impact me, like, within the trans community. Because I'm worried, and I should probably stop worrying. I'm kind of getting some advice from my advisors, my professional clinical team. They're kind of advising me that I shouldn't really care what other people think because there's going to be people who don't like me, but there's also people who aren't going to cancel me just because I have opinions that go against the kind of you know, group mentality. There are a lot of trans people that they just hate cisgender people, and I don't support that because I have 99 like 90 like basically like 98% of the population is cisgender. And most of my friends, the people I love, are also cisgender. So why would I hate cisgender people? How is that any different than hating trans people? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I am not going to cancel people just for saying, like, you know, using their free speech in their own platform. Sorry, I was just had to deal with a phone call. Yeah, basically, cisgender. It's a scientific definition. Cis means on the same side of. So cisgender means you identify as the gender that you were assigned at birth. So basically, I know people in my chat are very interested in this topic, and they want to find out more, there's plenty of information available on the internet, and I invite you to go use either ChatGPT or Google or something, or talk to another trans person. Maybe go to a meet and greet. Sometimes there are spaces where you can meet you can meet trans people and listen to them and talk to them. Now, there are rules of decorum, just like any space. If you go to an MTG like Friday Night Magic, for example, and you start being really crude and you harass people for playing Magic the Gathering, they're going to kick you out. If you go to a church and you start harassing people for believing in God, you're probably not going to be welcome there either. So if you go into an LGBTQ space and you start harassing people for existing, you're probably not going to be welcome there. I'm sorry, I know you don't like to hear it, but some things, the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth really hurts. And you think it's a personal attack? Well, it's not. If you went to a D&D session and you started yelling at the GM, you started harassing them, you started disagreeing with how they're running the campaign, you're going to get kicked out. You do Magic the Gathering, you start saying, oh, my card should be, even though you're using stolen, you're printing out your cards, they don't want you to use illegal cards. You're going to get kicked out if you start breaking the rules. If you're using loaded dice in the casino, if you're counting cards, there's all sorts of rules of decorum, and you are having a hard time accepting when it comes to things that hurt you, instead of accepting that maybe you're not being persecuted against. Maybe you're just being held accountable for boundaries that you're breaking. How's your day going, Chili? The south side of a mountain? I don't know what that means. Making up your own beliefs? I mean, that's what beliefs are. What are you talking about? That's literally what beliefs are. Everybody makes up their own beliefs. What are you talking about? There's rules of belief? No, there isn't. You can believe whatever you want. If somebody comes around, they're not harming anybody, and they think they're on the moon when they're on Earth, well, how am I supposed to argue? What if we are on the moon? I have no way of proving that. What if I'm delusional? What if we're actually on the moon and I'm drugged and I'm being held prison by the AI overlords? I have no idea of knowing that. Why would I harass this person? Why would I hurt this person? Do you see what I'm talking about? You might think they're crazy, and you have the right to feel that way, but are you gonna harass them? Are you gonna constantly push them around and bully them? What the fuck? Yeah, cisgender just means 98% of people, it's very normal to identify as who you were assigned at birth. It's very normal. It's like most people, I do feel maybe in a deeper philosophical way. Dude, this monster is glitched out, or is it on a different level? On a more philosophical level, I feel there is some level of gender dysphoria that cisgender people feel, which kind of makes us all transgender. But you have to ask yourself, there's a certain percentage where it doesn't really matter, because you don't feel so terribly about your gender dysphoria that you're going to deal with it by going through hormone therapy or surgeries. That's a completely different level. Now, I feel even cisgender people do have gender dysphoria. You know how many guys feel extremely self-conscious about their hairline or about their physique? Body dysmorphia is just another name for gender dysphoria, but it's more focused on not so gender-related things. And I feel people really kind of underestimate that. I think cisgender people understand trans people way more than they realize, because you already go through it. Yeah, intense gender dysphoria. And you know what? I'm not going to ignore that. I'm not going to harass you about that. I think that's perfectly valid. You're allowed to also not be trans just because you have gender dysphoria. All these things are normal things. Everything's superficial. Our entire reality is hallucinated by our own brains. Do you understand this? People are understanding more and more about about consciousness. Like, our brains are evolved for survival, not for parsing reality. We selectively choose our stimuli from our environment to maximize our survival, and that also involves collective survival. It also, but also involves more independent survival. So I don't know what this insistence that people have on some kind of like objective reality. It's only one way. It's like, no, reality is already subjective. Your brain is not interpreting reality as it is. The only thing, because you're an observer, you're inherently subjective. Now there is a collective human kind of agreement that we have, but that's like up for interpretation and a little bit of a gray area sometimes. Like, some people don't see colors. Some people are blind. They don't know what blue looks like. So when you say the sky is blue, they will understand what you mean by that, but they don't see the exact same color that you do because their brain processes that color differently than yours. This is like known like neuroscience. Like, this is actually a fascinating topic if you're interested. You could probably ask ChatGPT about it more if you want to talk about it. You're not really broke? I mean, yeah, like, what is broke? Are you a broke-back mountain? Anyway, I'm getting really swept into this conversation. You guys keep wanting to talk about gender ideology. You guys can kind of like, I'm just going to start ignoring people. Sometimes it's too much work to just like actually click on your name and remove you, but I'm just going to ignore it. If you don't want to be ignored in the chat, stop being like really hyper fixated on these topics. Like, I've already dealt with it. I've been living it for the past 6 years. I've already transitioned. I've already gone through surgery. I am not an entry level to this conversation. Maybe you are, and I invite you to learn more, but I'm going to just direct you to ChatGPT to learn about it or something. ChatGPT is the enemy? I don't know about that. I think human laziness is the enemy. I think that's a different problem. I feel like ChatGPT can actually benefit society. I know that's kind of a controversial take. You're not being replaced. You're just having a new tool, and some people are going to abuse that tool, but others aren't, and others are going to use it to benefit society. So it's inevitable. It's a double-edged sword. I wish we had a better alternative. But we're not being replaced.
Go in peace.
Oh yeah, I need to turn in this quest.
Hail.
Wait, did I accidentally sell the oh no, I didn't. Okay.
Ancestors watch over you.
I see, this is what I'm talking about. You guys keep bringing me in. You keep asking me to talk about it. And then when I talk about it, you get mad that I'm talking about it. That's actually like what we should really focus on. Why are you guys like this? Like, why? If you don't want me to talk about it, then why are you constantly talking about it? I don't understand why you do this. Yeah, but I'm going to stop trying to understand. I'm just going to do my own thing. It's hard to get mochi into Hood. Go to Japantown, bro. Is this WoW? Yeah, this is World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. Commander Marlith? That's for a quest. We're role-playing right now, not ERP. Esteemed Rebecca, the information you brought to my attention earlier has turned out to be extremely valuable. Already I am calling for changes to our battle plans to account for the new importance we attribute to the Twilight's hammer presence. Please accept this item as a small token of our gratitude. I hope we can continue to count on you as a valiant ally in our fight in Silithus. Sincerely, Commander Marlith. Okay, I guess, okay, deleting that bullshit. Okay. Okay, I'm actually just gonna start sending my auction house stuff to my alt. Okay. And we're gonna send, Can I send these things? Oh, no. Send this. Send this. This. I should keep the, you know, rune cloth. I can turn it into, yeah, okay, yeah, send those. Let's put those up on the auction house real quick. Yeah, I mean, what are we fighting about? Some people just really want to have an argument. Some people are just really weird. I don't really get it, but you know what? You do you. You know, I could try to get... We could, like, take a break from this and, like, I could try to get my mage staff from Honor. We could just grind up to getting my mage staff. Well, you have to get 16k for that. Ugh. I don't really want to do that. We need to farm more gold. Reality versus fantasy? I mean, reality is a fantasy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're already living in subjective reality by being a conscious human being. That is by design. It's so we can survive, like I've told you. I've researched this a lot. If you're interested more, you should read some articles about it. Like, read some academic research into consciousness and neuroscience. Our brains have evolved consciousness specifically to do what we do, which is abstract reality from objective to subjective, so that we can survive. That's why we made tools. That's why we made fire. Like, we cultivated fire. That's why we invented agriculture. That's why we that's why we have vehicles. That's why we have the internet. That's why we have, like, medicine and technology in the first place. You're using a phone. You're a cyborg. Do you understand? That's not natural. That's not biological. But it is biological because your brain evolved to make this happen. Do you understand? Your brain evolved to be able to survive. But you have to understand that it's not an accurate, objective view of reality. If it was, we would just be living in caves and trees. We would be just like the rest of the animal kingdom if we saw more objectively. But even those creatures, they don't see objective reality. They see subjective reality within their own biology, within their own reality. They survive a different way, and they procreate a different way. But we're like one of the longest surviving species as far as, like, our actual, like, lifetime. Like, we live for like 100 years sometimes. Only a few animals in the animal kingdom live that long. Most animals don't. Okay, I'm gonna drop this shit. This, like, craftsman shit. Oh, oops. Okay, I need to put some shit up on the auction house. Okay, I'm just gonna vendor that then. Let's sell these. I'm gonna send all the rune cloth to myself. Keep the arcane powder and stuff, obviously. I should sell that. Yeah, like, if we just relied on biology, we would still be only living to like 30 years old. That's why we use technology in medicine, and trans medicine is part of that. So that's what I'm trying to say. You guys are fixated on something that is just a natural evolution of human existence. Like, it's just another side effect, but people are hyper focused on it because you guys are led by corrupt politicians who do not have a clean, they have a lot of skeletons in their closet. We don't really need to get into that. But you guys are trusting them instead of, like, people who are just trying to live their, like, I don't understand this. Like, it's like I don't know why you guys trust these politicians so much. They're manipulating you. They're relying on your emotions to get voted back in. That's why you guys are so fixated on transgender people. Like, stop it. What's wrong with you? You know, stop letting the man brainwash you. Let's also just send some gold. Yeah, I don't really have any gold on any other characters, so. Yeah, biology exists, but then our brain is biology, and our brain created science and technology, which includes medicine, and medicine includes transgender medicine. Do you understand? It's like a Venn diagram. Like, you know, the circle within a bigger circle within a bigger circle. Our biology is the top level. It's the big circle, right? Well, the big circle is planet Earth, and within planet Earth is like the Milky Way galaxy, and within the Milky Way galaxy, there's like our bigger, universe, right? Well, like solar system, galaxy, bigger universe, whatever. We are an individual within a group, within our local community, within a larger community. Within a country, within a continent, within a world, within a solar system. You understand? So, like, you have a small circle, bigger circle, bigger circle. So basically, if you look at human evolution, biology is the big circle. Well, our living environment, the planet Earth, is the big circle. Because of that environment, we're just going to call that environment. You have a big circle. Here, let's open MS Paint. So we have let's make it dark mode. Wait, is there a dark mode? Oh, let's just, where's the bucket fill tool? Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's just make it dark mode here. Okay, so we have, basically, you have a big circle. And this circle is called environment. Let's make first of all, I don't like Calibri. Let's switch over to where's the, I don't like that font. Yeah, let's just do a courier. A courier new. Here we go. Make it. Let's make it 18. We're legal, baby. Okay. Okay. So we. No. Let's make it bigger. Okay. I think 24 is probably big enough. Okay. We got environment. Okay. Oh, whoops. And within that, like, this is like our environment is like, the planet Earth, our ecosystem, whatever. Within that, you have a smaller circle that is including the environment. And this is going to be, like, these are natural resources. Now, these are tools. These are tools. That's like, we made stone tools. We made like fire, like all those kind of things. And then within that, science and medicine. I mean, just science. And so within that, there's all sorts of little things in here. So we're going to make an arrow pointing to that. Let's make it maroon. Okay. This is transgender people. Okay, do you understand? Oop, I made the wrong color on that last one. Let's give it an erase. Oh, oop, don't want to do that. Let's just draw over it. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's basically it. Let's make it a little smaller so you guys can see it on the vertical stream. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Environment, that's our biology. We don't choose that. That's evolved. Tools, we invented that. We invented tools. Science, that's a tool. It's based on tools. That's our understanding of the world around us, understanding of tools. And transgender people exist, and transgender medicine exists within science. Do you understand? But this is also a good thing because other things like there's other things inside of here. Like this is like religion. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is all part of what it means to be human. You wouldn't have religion. You wouldn't have Christianity. You wouldn't have Judaism. You wouldn't have Islam. You wouldn't have Buddhism. You wouldn't have Hinduism. Like, you wouldn't have any of these things. Like Sikh. You wouldn't have any of these things without science. Because it gives a environment where we can invent all sorts of abstract things. Philosophy. Religion is fundamentally philosophy. Things and stuff exist. Exactly. That explained nothing? What are you talking about? This explained everything. This is literally the theory of everything. You guys have been looking for a theory of everything. This is the theory of everything. This is mathematical proof. What are you talking about? This is mathematical proof, you guys. A woman is a subjective understanding of our connection to our own bodies and our own place in society based on our current existence, which includes our current understanding of science, using which exists within the tools that are available, which exists in the environment we live in. And then out here, like the bigger picture is like the global is like universe. Global union. Yeah, the universe. The universe is, this is all inside our own universe, right? We have a universe, and within that universe, we have our specific environment, the planet Earth, right? Our solar system, the moon, Okay, so like Earth 13's the moon. Earth 13, the moon. Moon 13, the moon. Okay. Weapons, yeah, weapons exist. They're tools, right? They're science. So weapons exist inside of science, right? Weapons only exist because science exists. Science only exists because of tools. Tools only exist because we evolved from our environment. And our environment only exists because it was created by the universe. Do you understand? None of this means everything. What do you mean, Joel? Did you use those special parts to make your robot friends? Adult human female. No, I mean, it's like you use one sentence. None of these words particularly mean anything. They only mean something because our brains evolved to create meaning from it. Do you understand? The universe doesn't have these words. English language? Are you saying English is the only way to see the universe? Mathematics is something we invented, but it's based on a universal thing. Language only exists because our brains evolved in order to create language. Science is like language would be in here. Okay, so that's another thing. Like, language exists because of like science. Like, don't you see? How do you not see this? Yapatron, exactly. Oh, Jesus. Mentally ill? I mean, we're all mentally ill because our brains are hallucinating the world around us. Don't you understand? Everybody is mentally ill. It's a feature, it's not a bug, it's a feature. We wouldn't be mentally ill. It's a side effect of the fact that our brain hallucinates the world around us as a survival mechanism through evolution. That's how humans live to be 100 years old. We got religion, we got language, we got transgender people. Everything exists because of science. Don't you understand? Mathematics. All these things are human abstractions. You don't see dogs and cats doing abstract math equations, do you? You hate everyone around you? I'm sorry that's true, space lover. I hope that you find happiness. Discourse is pointless. I don't like this doomer attitude. We evolved to survive. Next step to progress evolutionary is to save no. Why would you think that everybody should transition? We're like 2% of the population. We're a minority. What are you talking about? We're not trying to make everyone transition. We're trying to help transgender people be able to transition. There's a fundamentally misunderstanding here. People who are against transgender healthcare are under some kind of delusion that we're trying to push an agenda to make people trans. Trans people already existed, and we have for like thousands of years. There's points in history where there are clearly transgender people. At the time, they were, not really understood that way, but if you looked at it through a modern lens, they would have been transgender people. People have identities. And sometimes they don't align with your biological reality. Now, the real question is, how willing are you to do something about it? That's what transgender medicine is. How willing are you to put yourself through torture to get what you need? Because I think cisgender people don't even cross their minds. If it does, it's like for like 5 minutes. I think everybody should ask the question, who am I? Like, am I really me? Like, what is male? What is female? Like, I feel like everybody should ask this question. But you notice that, like, cisgender people generally move on after, like, 5 minutes. Transgender people spend, like, decades focused on this. There must be a reason. And so you want to put an end to that. and you don't want to end your life. So instead, you do transgender medicine to make yourself stop focusing on that so you can move the fuck on with your life. I'm a living example of a success story. And you're not even listening to my objective reality of this is what helped me. It helped me move past it. It helped me stop focusing on it. The fact that I'm not angry right now, it's because I'm content in my body. The exact thing that you want from trans people like me. You want us to be happy with our bodies? Well, for us, we unfortunately have to take a few extra steps. And a lot of it is just to put an end to that constant disruption, an end to the constant pain without hurting ourselves. And yeah, like temporary pain for permanent gains, like I'm all for that. It was temporary pain. It was the most pain I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Those 5 years, especially the surgeries, the vaginoplasty particularly. The vaginoplasty was the physically and mentally most painful thing I've ever had to go through in my entire life. But it's over now, and I feel better. So I don't know why people are so obsessed with not allowing people to pursue what they need to pursue. And it's like, yeah, trans medicine has been evolving, and now we're starting to even be able to have a clearer picture of how to help trans youth. Now that's something out of my purview, but at the same time, multiple health organizations across the planet agree that there is a good way to help trans youth and a bad way. And the bad way is what you guys keep insisting we continue to do, which is denying people their existence, bullying them, punishing them, telling them that they're evil, that they need to change who they are, that they need to deny their existence, that they need to convert. Conversion therapy has been banned in so many different places in the world. Unfortunately, it's starting to revert. But it doesn't make it any less wrong that people are deciding to do it again. You know, we understand already from science that transgender people have very specific needs. And we're trying to figure out a very humane, safe way to deal with that. And it's not perfect. There should be more research. And I encourage people to ask questions and to contribute to research. But if you start denying research, if you start pushing things away, ironically, all the things that you're afraid of are going to start becoming true again. So I don't know why you guys seem to think that getting rid of it is the answer when that was what we were already doing. Telling people they're not, normal. Telling people that they shouldn't be in society. Putting people in mental asylums. That's going backwards. Why do you want to live in the past? We've already gone past that. We already know what's better. So, I don't understand why people are so, unwilling to, even, consider that things might not be what they think they are. Anyway, we're getting rid of this topic. We're getting back into the gold farm. I just wanted to say something that basically that's my whole explanation about it. If you're not willing to listen to a word I said, you can get out of here. And don't be surprised when I time you out or ban you. I'm just gonna ban people. If they're gonna be weird. Come the fuck on. Stop it. I don't know why you're doing what you're doing.
Be careful.
Everyone eats with a mouth. Well, some people don't. Some people take intravenous, or they get a feeding tube. That is fundamentally not true. What do you do for work? Your mom. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm permanently disabled, and I start a job as a doing modeling for art classes this week. I'm really excited. I'm nervous, but like it's starting to build my long-term career. For money, I get SSI payments every month because I'm permanently disabled. I have access to clinical support. I have like about 12 people plus on my team. They are finding me a new housing situation pretty soon. I just got the intake for this most recent, most promising housing program in December. So it's pretty new, and they're actively looking for candidate homes. So things are going to be working out. Would you love some Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, we're going to do that at some point, but we're going to go through Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 before we do Baldur's Gate 3. I'm kind of a completionist. I would really want to play those old school games. I want to see how Baldur's Gate, where Baldur's Gate 3 came from. I want to see the origins. I want to see the history. I want to experience it. I did play some of the tutorial, but when we do that on stream, we're probably just going to start over from the beginning. And I'm going to figure out an ideal way. I think I'm going to have to make a separate display capture for vertical format for that. It's going to be a smaller window. It's just going to be like my camera, and then it's going to be the whole screen, and it's going to be smaller. Because otherwise, right now I have like the like it's kind of narrowed into the middle for World of Warcraft. But I think I need to make a separate display capture for like other games that kind of need to see the full screen. Don't just start with 3. Yeah, I'm going to start with the first one. But I mean, I think we're going to have to, over time, like right now I'm hyper focused on World of Warcraft. We're going to be doing this for quite a while. Once we're kind of more situated, like we're raid logging more, we're doing arenas and stuff, like my warrior is pretty situated into a long-term grind. I'm going to find one day a week where the stream is about single-player games. Maybe Friday. It's Friday. This is World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade. So 0 cents. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I know it's like I know I kind of hate it when people say that, but you're entitled to your opinion. But you know, like whatever. If you're gonna fundamentally disagree with my existence, then don't be surprised when I get upset that you're invading my boundaries. Like, that's all there is to it. You're entitled to think whatever you want. Nobody's going to stop you from thinking what you want. But we live in a society, okay? Like, okay, we got about 200 gold now. We need 300 more. I mean, it's hard to move on. This is the problem people have. They're saying, oh, I'm entitled to my opinion, but let's just agree to disagree. I can't agree fundamentally with the belief that you are acting on that is causing me active harm. Do you understand? If somebody was punching me in the face, I'm not going to be okay with that. Do you understand? I know that's an extreme example, but like, do you understand that if somebody is actively like causing a hostile environment where I'm being constantly misgendered in like a workplace, right? You're not even respecting my identity in the workplace. I can't work that way. You're basically trying to bully me to quit. And I feel like there's one person that is being aggressive in this situation, and it's not me. Do you understand? So don't be surprised when you get fired for being aggressive in the workplace. Like if you're creating a hostile work environment because of your beliefs. Like I don't care about your beliefs, but as soon as you start taking it out on other people, we're going to have a problem. That's all I'm trying to say. Because you're trying to agree. I can't agree that you fundamentally disagree with my right to exist safely. Like that's all there is to it. You know, I know you're wrong. because gender is subject. Like, I don't know why I'm talking about this more. Like, it's all of this stuff has been said over and over and over again. You are just refusing to accept reality. I am sorry, but if you think that like it's anything about transgender medicine is like against, I already explained it in that Venn diagram. Like, what are you talking about? It's so easy. Okay, isn't it so easy to dismiss somebody by just calling them a Karen or an incel? Don't you think that's really convenient for you? That makes it way too easy for you? You're unwilling to look at things nuanced, so instead you're going to make a binary. And you're going to say, oh, it's either you're a Karen or an incel. Isn't that makes it so much easier to hate somebody, don't you think? Don't you think that makes it so much simple? That you're just like, oh, it's a Karen, therefore I'm going to dismiss everything they say. When you probably do the same exact Karen activities. You probably do the same thing. If we accepted biology as reality, we wouldn't be even talking on the internet right now. Do you understand? That's what I was trying to say with that Venn diagram. Do you need me to show you the Venn diagram again? I will pull out the Venn diagram. But you're refusing to accept reality. You're refusing to accept reality. You're refusing to accept reality. Sounds like you are. I exist. I'm happy. I exist within culture without any friction. Like, yeah, people are gonna show up on social media, but what else is new, you know? English is the language of Jesus? No, language of Jesus was like Aramaic. What the fuck are you talking about? And Hebrew. Like, what are you talking about? Jesus was Jewish. Like, what is wrong with you? Because, like I was, okay, do I need to pull out the Venn diagram again? Jesus Christ. Okay, we exist in in the universe, right? And within the universe, we have the planet Earth, which is our environment. We made tools within our environment. Like, there's natural resources, like we found water, we found plants, like we're hunter-gatherers, right? Environment. If we didn't have tools, we would still be hunter-gatherers. We'd be gathering berries and roots and hunting tigers and shit. And then with tools, we created understanding through science. And in science, we created more understanding. We created things like religion. We created things like language. We created, like, you know, transgender medicine. Like, these things all exist in the same Venn diagram. Do you understand? I'm just going to pull up this diagram and I'm going to stop arguing with people. You guys are fucking cringe. Like, I'm just gonna stop arguing with people. I'm here. Let's yeah. Let's just. We're just gonna start pulling up this Venn diagram every time people have an issue. Like, what's wrong with you, bro? No, I'm a chip. Create YouTubers. Exactly. YouTubers exist because of science. Don't you understand? We wouldn't even be talking on YouTube. Like, we would not even be talking. Like, I don't know why you guys are so fixated on this. Why you guys keep saying we don't care about gender ideology, yet you guys are always talking about gender ideology. It's so like this cognitive dissonance is so weird. Why is it happening in my chat? What's wrong with you guys? Are you guys okay? You guys need to go talk to somebody? Like, are you okay? We don't do Snapchat here. Yeah, I'm trans. I'm a trans woman post-op. Is your diagram reality? I mean, it's a... See, this is what I'm talking about. This diagram is literally created by the diagram. Like, the diagram explains... Like, this diagram would not exist if this diagram weren't true. Do you understand? I wouldn't be creating a diagram if this wasn't true. We would just be hunter-gatherers. The universe gave us the conditions for the planet Earth to exist, which created an ecosystem that evolved humans eventually, and humans were hunter-gatherers. We lived in caves and trees. The early humans actually lived in trees. And we developed tools, which gave us agriculture, science, like, you know, agriculture is part of that science, right? It created human thought and analysis. Like that is like the fact that we have religion. I know people say religion isn't a science. It absolutely is. It wouldn't exist if we didn't have philosophy. Religion is fundamentally philosophy. It's a philosophy that people believe in, right? And these are things that people really enjoy. So I don't know why you guys are upset. Like, you can't pick and choose. Like, you want to have religion. You want to have, like, language. You want to have cars. But suddenly, transgender people go against biology. Like, what are you talking about? Do you want to get rid of computers? Do you want to get rid of cars? Do you want to get rid of eyeglasses? Like, do you want to get rid of, like, textiles? And, like, typewriters? And do you want to get rid of everything that humans have created? Like, I don't understand. LGBT is a result of human ingenuity and human philosophy and human thought. Understanding self. That's philosophy. We understand ourselves deeper because we were brave enough to investigate. To investigate who we are. To investigate what makes us tick. To investigate what things make our lives have better meaning. To give us more freedom. The fact that we have, like, freedoms, like freedom of speech, those are ideas that are not biological. Do you understand? Yeah, you guys are arguing about genitals. Why are you guys so fixated on genitals? Maybe you're transgender. Have you ever thought about that? You guys are talking about genitals all fucking day. Meanwhile, I'm just here playing World of Warcraft. I'm just trying to explain this to you to try to help steer you in the right direction. Yeah, you understand these things are... I can't fit everything in... I only put a couple select examples inside the small circles. There's like infinite small circles. I can't fit them all. Do you understand? Everything that humans have created is because of science, which exists because we had tools, which exists because we have an ecosystem in our environment. And our environment only exists because we had, like, you know, a bunch of stars that collided and shit, and a whole bunch of dust and stuff collected and created, like, the minerals and stuff required for a planet to exist, which created our ecosystem. But even our understanding of science is created by humans. Like, it's a language we created so that we can talk about it. Do you understand? So, like, everything that's within that Venn diagram, it's infinite. And there are infinite subcategories within those individual subcategories. Do you understand? Like, yeah, we created stuff and circles. The fact that we even have geometric shapes, now those things exist in the universe, but we put a name to it. We put meaning to it. It doesn't have a fundamental meaning just because it exists. It needs an observer, right? World of Warcraft would not have any meaning if you didn't have humans that wanted to create a video game that has meaning to humans, to the people who want to play it, right? Rabic? What? What's my make name? What? My name is Rebecca. Like, I don't know why you guys are so fixated on this. You guys keep saying, oh, I don't like it when trans people shove this down my throat. Sounds like you are. You're clearly wanting to investigate this, and I encourage you to find out more. It's fascinating stuff. But we're trying to do something different here. I'm trying to move the fuck on. Go find God before you find yourself. I mean, that finding God is finding yourself. I mean, if you truly investigate scripture, the search for meaning is a fundamental part of Christianity. Like that is what Christianity is. It's trying to understand the self through scripture. So it's like that is understanding the self. That's what God is. That's what it means. I don't know why you don't understand this. It's fundamentally built into the belief system. That's why pastors exist. That's why, they spread the word so that people can have meaning. Wrong. You're wrong. Oh, somebody's wrong on the internet. I better roll up my sleeves. God bless white girls. Okay. Go find God before you find yourself. Go find God before you... I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't know why you're so angry about it. Arjun, I'm gonna be okay. You don't need to defend me, but I'm glad that you support. They can't stop themselves from spending their entire time making you money by what? Yeah, well, I'm not making any money, but I guess I'm making currency, which is exposure on social media. So I may not be making money, but I'm making exposure. So the more they chat in my stream, the more I get exposed to more viewers, which means more kind people are gonna show up. Unmonitored YouTuber? You mean unmonetized? Are you using autocorrect? Your autocorrect is showing, bro. Bruh. $0. No, I make money elsewhere. And we're taking a break for now. Like I said, I'm slowly building up a sustainable modeling career. And I'm having some actual paid work pretty soon. Goon with you? We're not allowed to do that on YouTube. Your dog says hello and good night. Well, hello, Airy, like Harry's dog that said hello and good night. If you cut off your arm, do we evolve into a one-armed species of human? You're missing the entire point. My entire point, I'm going to show the diagram again. My entire point is that human ingenuity is not based on biology. It has nothing to do with evolution exists because of our environment. What I'm saying is human ingenuity, your ability to cut off your own arm, is a human invention not existing in biology. Do you understand? I'm trying to say that the things that you find important are fundamentally opposed to the existence of human society. The fact that we have cultures, the fact that we have art, literature, the fact that we have government. Government is based in philosophy. Religion is based in philosophy. Medicine is based in philosophy. That we should do no harm. That we should help people. We should heal people. Right? Those are philosophies. These are not based in biology. They stem from biology. Biology gave us the conditions to create these things, but they're a result of biology, not I don't know why you guys are so fixated on biology. It's just a starting point. Are you going to judge your World of Warcraft experience based on character creation? Yeah, the character creation experience has to matter, because if it doesn't, you're not going to want to play the game. But you have to actually log into your character and, go through the starting sequence and learn how to play the game and level up to max level. I'm going to put it in WoW terms, right? If you judge your whole existence based on character creation, you're not even getting a fair assessment of World of Warcraft. You have to actually play the game. You're not going to actually learn how to play in the character creation screen. There's no gameplay. It's just character creation. Because we stemmed from... Evolution doesn't work directly. It's not like we just evolved from monkeys and then... Well, first of all, we didn't evolve from monkeys. We evolved from apes. And apes evolved from, some kind of, aquatic, like some kind of like mammal, and then that mammal evolved from some aquatic creature, which evolved like. It doesn't cancel out anything. It's just we stemmed from it. We're a deviation. If you want to put it in a more negative way, humans are an abomination. If you really think about it, our existence shouldn't be, but we exist. We stemmed from a common ancestor that some modern day apes stemmed from, including some monkeys probably. We're all stemming from common ancestors, but we're branches, right? We branch off like a tree, like roots. We have the same seed. Technically, all life has the same seed from the Big Bang. And then whatever came before the Big Bang probably created the conditions for the Big Bang, right? You know, string theory and all that shit, or alternative theories to the like maybe the Big Bang isn't the beginning of the universe. It's just a common thing that the universe does, creates bubbles, and like it's just constantly, eternally creating bubbles. Like that's a theory about stuff. You can find out more about that. I find that topic pretty interesting. But the fact that we even have the planet Earth in the first place, that created the planet we have, I mean, you could say God created the Big Bang, right? Maybe there's something that we don't know what came before the Big Bang. We know something happened that, you know, like we don't know all the answers. Like science is fundamentally rooted in the fact that we don't have all the answers. So like to think that like you know everything, you don't know everything, you know a belief. And that belief only exists because of evidence that we've seen based on human ingenuity. It's like I said, consciousness is your brain literally hallucinating a reality based on stimuli, external stimuli. The external stimuli is purely objective, and without human brain, we would not be who we are. We would not be having this conversation. We would not even hate each other. We would just be animals. We would just be single-celled organisms. You know, like we would not have the ability to even like adapt these thoughts into language. A belief is based on human thought, and human thought evolved beyond our biology. The fact that we have multiple language, we evolved, there is a theme, there is a commonality. We evolved different languages. Some of those languages are fundamentally different. We developed different writing systems, like the Sumerian writing system, cuneiform, known as the earliest known writing system. We don't know if there was writing systems before that, but historically, history is what's documented, what we found, actual like artifacts, right? Like a text of some sort. A text could even be like etchings on a bone. You know, Chinese evolved like 6,000 years ago or whatever. It's the oldest surviving writing system. It has evolved within its own right, but like Chinese is the oldest surviving writing system that's still used today. It has evolved. We have simplified Chinese now. It's a little bit easier to write than traditional Chinese. It has fewer stroke count, saves ink, easier to write. So like the fact that we have multiple languages evolves because humans evolved under different conditions. We had different expectations for survival. We had different conditions. So that's why we developed different languages, different cultures, different religions. Gentleman and a scholar. It's my first live in a video I've ever seen you. Please don't change being awesome and being yourself. Well, thanks. I'm trying to just do my own thing and like talk about things that interest me. If you're interested, I'm glad that you're here, and I just don't be rude. You know, don't be like, you're gonna be annoying. Don't be surprised if I block you. Like if you're gonna be like, but you're not a woman. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about your opinion. You're not unique. You're not original. You're not edgy. You're just a loser. That's all there is to it. Like, even if you, like, it's not even possible for you to be right, in the same way that it's not even possible for me to be right. Like, everything is an abstraction. all the ideas that humans have are abstractions. The only thing that's true is that, like, I am a human living and breathing, and everything that's happened, like, there are objective actions that I've taken. Like, I took hormone therapy, and I got facial surgery, and I had vaginoplasty. So those are objective things, but even those things are not, you know, in a bigger picture, like in the Venn diagram, like, those things are not even objective. Those things are just human abstractions. But, like, you know, like I said, it's a Venn diagram. We kind of cancel everything out because it would drive us crazy to constantly think about things as an infinite chain. You know, like, we would lose our minds. Well, being a man and a woman is different. Being trans is different. Being non-binary is different. Being intersex is different. Every human is different. I don't know why you guys are so fixated on it. You guys are basically saying differences exist, and you're dying on a hill about it. You're willing to lose your job over it. You're willing to go out and make a fool of yourself over it. I don't understand. You're basically just dying on a hill of differences exist. Differences do exist. Diversity is what makes humans so amazing. It's why we have different art and literature and culture. You're arguing with yourself. You're unwilling to accept that the world is more complicated than you think it is, and you're scared, and I get it. I care for you. I hope that I can help you understand better. But at the same time, it doesn't change that people exist that are different from you, and they're in a different place of understanding than you. And if you're going to just harass them and not even take accountability for that, don't be surprised when people, like, fire you from your workplace because you're creating a hostile environment, because you're harassing your coworkers, because you're making people feel unsafe. If you're walking around, like, swinging a machete at work, don't be surprised when they call the police. Making people feel unsafe. We're playing World of Warcraft: The Burning Crusade. No one here is scared. I think people are scared. There's you see it in the reality that we live in. So many guys out there, like cisgender, heterosexual men. It's ingrained into culture that you're not allowed to be gay, or you're gonna lose all your friends. And it's a survival instinct, so I don't blame you for this. But you get, like, slightly attracted. You see a guy and you're, like, slightly attracted, like, or you feel like a tingle. You feel feelings of some sort. Doesn't mean you're acting on the feelings, and it would be okay for you to if it's, like, you know, all in consensual, and it's like consensual and all that. But, like, or you see a porn, and you see a dick, and it might even be a trans woman's dick. You're not normally attracted to dicks, but then you see a trans woman dick. What does that tell you? You're not normally attracted to men, and then you're attracted to a trans woman with a dick. What does that tell you? If that doesn't change that you're not attracted to men, what does that make a trans woman? It makes a trans woman not a man. It doesn't make you gay. And even if it did, who the fuck cares? I want to help you, but I'm not your therapist. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be your therapist. Stop trying to use internet live streamers as replacements for therapy. I know you're trying to get stuff off your chest. I've been on social media for like 25 years. I get it. You're just saying what's on your mind. I know. I've been there. I've been where you are. Arguing on the internet, saying your opinion. It's very real for you. It's very visceral. It is a real thing, and I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to say you're crazy. I'm not going to say there's something... I am going to say there's something wrong with you, but there was also something wrong with me. And also, there's still something wrong with me. And I think it's good that you should notice when things are wrong. That's like we're always trying to, like, better ourselves, right? You have to look at what's not working. Well, if you have religious beliefs that conflict with how I feel, that's okay. What I'm trying to say is as soon as that belief turns into hostility, I'm going to have an issue. Because you're harming me, and you're harming people around you. You're harming my community. You're harming everybody. You're harming society, ultimately. Because you're preventing progress. You can have your belief. But if you had a belief that you're allowed to just carry a machete at work and swing it around at people, like, oh, I'm not actually killing you, I'm just waving it in front of your face. That is hostile. That is aggressive. That is violence. You're creating a place where people don't feel safe. So don't be surprised when they call the police to have you escorted out of the building. Do you understand? Yeah, people do have religious. I'm just responding, gaming videos. People have religious beliefs, but as soon as those religious beliefs become create a hostile environment, that's where the problems occur. That's what the entire LGBTQIA plus LMNOP movement has come from. And I do agree there's too many letters. A lot of people in the LGBTQ community agree with me. There are too many letters. Stop it. Stop adding so many letters. Jesus Christ. It's enough to just say LGBTQ. Like, come on. A lot of people agree with that. We need to settle on that. That's like a community thing. I know it might be controversial to some, but we don't need to keep adding letters. Come on. At that point, just call us human. Like, come on. Thing claims, and I am providing substance. I've been providing substance the entire stream. What are you talking about? Have you seen the Venn diagram? Like, might be the coolest one. I see it's like, I guess that's the first stage of acceptance, when people start saying you're one of the good ones. I guess that's how black civil rights started. They started saying, oh, you're one of the good ones. I mean, it's still demeaning. It's not where we need to be, but like the fact that people see me as one of the good ones, like that, I mean, that's something, right? I don't need you to agree with me. I'm not like banning people because they disagree with me. I'm banning people because you're creating a hostile environment that I don't want to enable. Yeah, we're all brothers and sisters. And you know, like, if anything, I think Jesus Christ was non-binary. Like, I don't think he defined, I mean, he was a man, like, biologically, but, you know, like, I mean, we don't really know that. He wasn't a man. He was of God, right? So that makes him like an other being. He's technically non-binary. I'm pretty sure he used he, they. He probably identified more as a male when he was in human form. But I feel like God would, out of everything that we understand, I feel like God would be non-binary. So, I mean, I don't understand this obsession with, oh, there's only two genders. Like, what about a robot? Or like a bot? An AI chatbot? You guys keep calling AI chatbots by pronouns. It's normal. Everybody does this. You hear a more female-sounding voice? It's not a person. You guys keep saying biology matters. You call AI chatbots that literally are not people, do not have a soul, as far as we know, and are literally just robots. Like, come on. Yeah, sorry, I got another phone call. English is the language of Jesus. No, it's not. You're literally wrong. Aramaic and Hebrew. Yeah, we say son of God, but that's just language, right? We also look at culture. Most of culture is dominated by male thought. Doesn't mean men are wrong. Stop thinking that. Stop thinking that me saying that means I hate men. Okay, it just means it's a reality. Like most of human society was dominated by males who were enabled to be able to change society. Women were often, like frequently, denied access to social change. Like, this is true. This is a verified reality, okay? Like, to deny it is denying reality. And like, to say that, you know, women were equal to men is just really short-sighted and wrong. But like, English is not what even these scriptures that you're quoting, that was not even the language it was written in. You know how like you watch an anime and like the anime is like an English dub? And people say, oh, I prefer subs versus dubs. But here's a reality check for you. The subtitles are not the original language either. And all like it was originally like Japanese, right? It hits different when you watch it in the original language, especially if you understand that language rather than reading subtitles. I've studied Japanese. It's my second language. I can understand anime and Japanese, like, you know, speech for the most part. I'm not fluent, but like I can understand like what's going on. Like I can watch an anime without a raw anime, like Japanese without subtitles. Watching anime with English subtitles is already a departure from the original intent. Do you understand? So like you're reading something that was originally like oral tradition in Aramaic and then translated into Hebrew and then later translated into Latin and Greek. Like you guys are not understanding the book you're reading that you know, which you're fine to believe in. You know, it's an abstraction, it's a translation. But the book you're reading is already translated significantly removed from the original source. So stop claiming that it's like the original source. English was not spoken for most of history. Like, yeah, gender language is a thing. Some languages don't have pronouns. Like at all. Like no, and then some languages have like a binary gender system, like Latin, like Spanish, right? Like it's all pretty arbitrary. Like we're just humans living and breathing and pooping. Like we all eat, we all sleep, we all poop. Like we procreate, some of us can't, but as a whole we generally procreate. Like not every single person has to have kids. In fact, I feel like biology, like I'm pretty sure gay people evolve specifically to control the population. Transgender people specifically evolve. It's probably a biological function in the first place. We even see that when we observe like certain like there's actually been observation of rats or mice, and I think birds as well, that if you have an overpopulation, in order to conserve resources, offspring start becoming gay. Like this is actually observed in reality. Like in some species. So it's not that far-fetched to think humans might be. Okay, like gay and trans people probably evolved in order to prevent scarcity of resources. Because most people procreate. If we have a overpopulation problem, our biology might just encode certain markers in people that make them less likely to procreate. Like, do you understand? Yeah, and that's in a book. It doesn't mean it condones the destroying an entire city. Do you understand that you're reading it from an angle that assumes that part of the Bible was like saying that was a good thing? You're assuming that was meaning that God agreed with that. No, that was a human who acted on their belief. In fact, I feel like if anything, the Bible says that it condemns doing stuff like that. It's trying to give you an allegory. It's a story. It's a narrative. It's telling you this is what happens when humans think they're smarter than God, right? That's what it's trying to tell you. You're taking life into your own hands. You're choosing who gets to live and die. That is literally a sin. Like, thou shalt not kill, right? It doesn't mean thou shalt not kill unless it goes against the Bible. It doesn't say that. It says thou shalt not kill. So you've already fundamentally made a sin by taking action in what you call a sin. That's what the Bible was trying to say with all those stories. Why are you gay? How are you gay? Yeah, he destroyed them. But, like, it's a story. It's written by humans. It's already fundamentally separate from what, like, even the Ten Commandments are written by humans. You can believe that they were inspired by God, and maybe in some kind of, like, bigger picture kind of way, you could say we are. But, like, I don't think it's as deliberate and as, like, I don't think you have any, like, hard evidence to prove that your belief is the one true belief and that there's no other beliefs and there's no other truths. You're just one truth among a sea of truths. Okay, we can't all be right. Okay, to insist that you're the only one who's right is like really short-sighted. I mean, you can keep thinking that too. I'm just gonna live my life and be happy. I don't know about you. I don't care if it's blasphemy. I don't give a fuck. Because I have different spiritual beliefs than you. I don't believe that there's some kind of punishing, hateful God that wants to kill people for being different. I think people should live in peace, like, you know, Jesus Christ taught. Like, love each other, heal people, help people, not hurt people, do no harm, like nurses and doctors. I mean, like, if anything, my religion is medical care. Nurses, doctors, the people who do no harm. If anything, that's the closest to Christianity you can possibly get. Doctors, surgeons, like, you know, nurses, and all the people who support that, like research. Yeah, we're all siblings, and that's like that's what our man JC taught, man. You don't believe what I do? I mean, nobody believes. I mean, you shouldn't. Don't be an automaton. But, like I said, my whole point was that you're entitled to your beliefs. But don't get upset when your beliefs are moving away from beliefs and moving towards action that cause harm to others. Don't get freaked out. Don't be surprised when people start calling you out and saying that they don't want you in their environment. When you start saying, oh, I don't, you know, these people don't belong in the workplace because I have a religious belief that says their gender doesn't exist, so I'm just going to misgender them and call them a gender that they're not just because I think they shouldn't be. You're basically saying, oh, I want to call everybody I want to call everyone a dumb bitch at the workplace. I want to just harass people. I just want to go, you know, I just want to go to work and spit in people's faces. That's what you're saying. Oh, but my religion says it's okay. It says spit is actually a sign of honor. Well, I don't accept that. I don't agree with that. You're saying that my safety and my boundaries are less important than your beliefs? That's what you're saying. I'm not hurting anybody by existing. I'm just going against your preconceived beliefs based on your religion. Well, if you don't like that people who go against your religion exist in the workplace, then get a different job. Don't work with us. Go work somewhere else. Stop trying to make a situation something that it's not. You're trying to feel like you're persecuted. No, you're causing harm. You're the bad guy in that situation. Like, come on. Like, what are we even talking about? I'm attacking your opinion? That doesn't... Oh, I see what you're saying, gaming videos. Yeah, you're being ironic. I'm attacking your opinion, not you. I'm not attacking the person. But as soon as you start creating a hostile environment where I feel unsafe, we're gonna have an issue. Like, I should be able to live my life without having to constantly justify my existence and defend my gender and constantly be misgendered, which is harassment. Just like sexual harassment is a thing. Just like being aggressive towards people is. Just like, you know, stealing people's things is. Just like any kind of thing can be harassment in the workplace. And generally in society, like, we should be trying to get along. I'm trying to extend an olive branch to you guys. The only person who isn't, you guys keep on making all sorts of mental gymnastics, trying to justify your hateful beliefs. You don't want to change your mind. You don't want to listen, because I've been trying to tell you, and you're not listening to a word I'm saying. You're just trying to justify your own beliefs as the one true belief, and you don't want anybody else to influence that. You're basically trying to search around for different arguments why your belief is right and why other people's are wrong. That's a very different situation. And you can't have a discussion with somebody who is just insisting their way is the only way. You just can't. It's not going to work. I mean, conforming is not the same as harassing. You don't have to think I'm a woman, but if you start treating me like I'm a man, and, you know, if you start harassing me, misgendering me, insisting that I'm not a woman, that is harassment. Nobody's telling you can't believe anything. They're telling you to stop harassing us. You're creating a hostile environment. That's what people are talking about. There's a fundamental misunderstanding that you're having. You think me defending my existence is hurting you. It's not. Hey, what's up, user? I mean, do you see, like, why you're creating the system that you want not to exist by insisting on all these things? Like, you keep saying, oh, trans people are always so woke. Trans people are always talking about transgender stuff. Stop shoving it down our throats. But you guys are backing people like me into a corner where every time we go in a public space, we have to constantly defend our existence, which means we have to explain these things over and over and over to you, even where we're trying to avoid it. You guys are creating the problem that you don't want to exist. You're creating wokeness. Don't you understand this? Like, I don't know if this is a revelation. This might be a revelation for you. I hope that it is. I hope that you're finally understanding the very problem that you don't want to have is because of your actions. You are creating an environment where trans people are forced into a corner where we always have to be talking about woke stuff and what your opinion is of whatever woke is. You're creating the environment that you don't want to have. Because if you didn't constantly force us into a situation where we feel like we're not welcome, where we feel like we're not allowed to exist, where we feel like we have to justify our existence, you're creating the problem. I didn't come to this situation, like, I'm just trying to chill, play some World of Warcraft. I didn't ask for all this. You guys brought this here. This is all you. I'm talking about this because this is clearly what you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about, you know, but I mean, if you're annoying, I'm going to start, like, just putting my foot down. It's not I mean, everything's a theory. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm creating something because that's what humans do. I'm trying to explain this concept. That humans only create things because we evolved from our biology in order to survive by creating things that aren't part of our biology. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why we have things like agriculture. That's why we have tools in the first place. Like, that's why we have the internet. That's why we have, that's why we're even talking right now. Is because we created things that aren't part of biology. If you're gonna drive your car today, you're already not living based on biology. So like, why are you hyper fixated on the gender part of it? That's who we are as humans. It's the most natural thing you could be. You're a human. You create things from nothing. But it's not from nothing, it's from nature. Who cares? I mean, everybody puts, you have to put blame on something. All over the screen? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean my UI? It's functional. Oh, we still need to turn in this quest too. I should go turn it in. I should probably get movement speed on my boots. We need to actually go do that. Top 3 games: chess, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. Actually, no, Chrono Trigger. But I guess that's an extension of Final Fantasy. Like, the general categories of video games. Chess, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. I guess Dragon Quest created the original environment that made Final Fantasy possible. So, but whatever. Science doesn't prove anything. I mean, like, it gets it to a point where we can pretty much be confident. It creates confidence levels. I think this is where people misunderstand science. Science isn't about proving things 100%. Something that's proven to be like maybe 25% it's possible is very different than something that's 99.9998% possible. Like, don't you understand that we collect evidence so that we can create confidence levels? There's a very different, like, when you have enough data, you can create like margins of error, right? If your margin of error is like 1%, that means that you're like 99% in, like, it's most likely supports your hypothesis. Now, if it's if your margin of error is like 90%, that means it's only 10% likely that your hypothesis is true. Okay, so it's like, the more evidence you gather, the more it supports your data, and the data can tell you that your hypothesis is more likely or less likely to be true. That's how science works. It doesn't have to be 100% true. It never will be. Like I said, that Venn diagram that I was telling you about, you fundamentally can't understand 100% of reality because everything we do is already limited based on our environment. Our environment evolved us. We live in our own little bubble. Okay, so like, you don't understand 100% of reality. You're not God. Like, don't you understand? What raids, dungeons? I'm looking forward to everything. I want to get level 70. We're going to be grinding up some dungeons. We're going to be doing some heroics. We're going to be, having a good time, just having something to do mainly. And doing something for the live stream. Just having something to do. And helping people out who want help. I always invite people in the Alliance to join me on Nightslayer. And if you need stuff, let me know in the chat. If you need like help, like you need some, I can make 8-slot bags on my warlock. I can make you some bags. I might be able to give you a gold or two. But you know, don't get carried away with that. But can't spare any gold right now, but I might be able to make some people some bags, especially if you provide the materials. Like if you provide me with some wool cloth. But wool cloth is cheap enough. I can just make I can make wool bags for new players. Like within reason, but mostly I just want to, you know, if you need to do a dungeon, I have multiple characters as well. I can heal it, you know, on my priest at like level 38. If you're like in the level 40 area, we can go do some Scarlet Monastery and stuff like that. Right now, I'm primarily focused on my warrior, and I probably will be most of the Burning Crusade. But there may be a point where we level up my alts. I'm going to level up my shaman. Need help in chess? My best advice for chess is to start... Well, first of all, the number one thing you can do to learn at chess is to think about your move before you even move your hand to touch the piece. You should already know and visualize what your move is going to look like before you even move your hand to the board. First of all, by doing that, you're not advertising to your opponent what you're thinking about, which is always, once your opponent gets inside your head, you're already like at a disadvantage. It's not about whether, because obviously it's a game of perfect information, but basically you want to think about your move completely based on the information that's there, without moving pieces, because that's not allowed, and definitely without you want to decide on your move. You want to be confident. You want to be like, this is the move I want to make. If you make your moves with 100% confidence, like, this may not be the best move, but I choose to make this move because I think it's the best move at the time. Using your own skill as a, you know, you're only going to be able to make moves that align with your skill level. So you're going to trust yourself. You need to make moves only when you know that's the move you want to make. If you have any doubts whatsoever, especially if you have time on your clock, at some point you have to make a decision. You're like, okay, but at the end of the day, you're still deciding on something. You're deciding on one move over like maybe 3 or 4 or maybe only 2. Like you're deciding on a move. Decide on the move before you even move the piece, before you even move your hand to move the piece. You should already have decided the move. There are no take-backs in chess. Another thing is you should learn notation, because write down your moves. Learn how to write down your moves. So when you play games, you can record them and you can look at them later. That's one of the most fundamental things you need to learn.
See you later.
You need to learn how to learn. You need to learn. In order to learn, you have to have access to your games. Now, if you play online, you already have access to the game archive. You don't really need to rely on that so much, but I highly recommend to learn by playing in-person games over a real board. Just like handwriting has been proven to improve learning, playing on a real board in physical 3D space rather than on a computer is going to be your number one, or out of a book even, is going to be, playing in real life with a person, especially if they're stronger than you, they can show you stuff, is always going to be better than a book or another two-dimensional space. It'll always be better, hands down. Just like using a computer or an iPad or something is never going to substitute for just, raw learning. First of all, listening is the number one thing, but also writing things down is the next step from that, with your handwriting. That's the next step, but it's an evolution of listening. Like, in the end of the day, the fundamental skill you're doing, all the stuff that you learn about chess, just stop trying to learn specific things. If you're struggling with chess, you need to get back to fundamentals. Just even how you think. Like, you need to understand that when you make a move, you should already have calculated that move before you even moved your hand to the board. That's one of the most fundamental skills. You need you need to be able to visualize the chessboard. That's the #1 skill. Pattern recognition is like, they're very close. They're like the very top skills. But like the most important is visualization. If you can't look at the board and see what the board could look like after you've made a certain move, you're unable to analyze. And if you can't analyze, you're not going to be able to make as strong as moves, because you need to be able to look at your moves in your head and say, okay, I need to judge whether or not this position is going to work out or not. It's going to work in my favor. Things need to work in your favor. Pattern recognition is the next step, and you can't have pattern recognition if you don't have visualization. First of all, you need to know all the legal moves, and you need to not be constantly doubting that. You need to know every single legal move that you can make, like what every piece can make. You need the fundamental understanding of like how the bishops move, how the knights moves. That's like the first step. Once you do that, but that still involves visualization. You need to know, you should also, I think better than obviously learning the pieces, but then you need to learn the board. And you need to learn what color is H3? What color is square? If you can't answer that off the top of your head immediately, it's a light square. Because the odd numbers on the H file are all light squares. Bottom right is H1, is a light square. Bottom left, A1, is a dark square. So all the odd numbers on the A file are dark squares. All the odd numbers on the H file are light squares. So ACEG, those are all the odd numbers. The odd number squares are dark squares, and the even numbers are light squares. On BDFH, all the odd numbers are light squares. Like, you need to be able to know that if I say H5, like, you know it's a light square. 1, 3, 5, 7. Those are all light squares. H1, H3, H5, H7. Those are all light squares. You need to know that. So that if you closed your head, if you closed your eyes, you know that H8 is a dark square. Because that tells you that a bishop can attack it. Do you understand? Like, this thought process is based on fundamental visualization. If you don't know that H8 is a dark square, you won't be on the lookout for if they have a dark squared bishop. I sound smart, but I'm actually not.
Hail. Farewell.
Okay, we got 211 golds. Sending stuff to the auction house, though. We got other stuff selling on the auction house. Closed your head. Exactly. Because we close our heads over here. We're head closers. Yeah, it's not... it's proof to the point... Proof is really... Our definition of proof is just that it's high enough of a confidence level that we accept it as true. At a certain point, you have to make a decision that it's true enough. And if something refutes that, then that's more data to say maybe we're not so confident about it. Sometimes we can have discoveries that completely erase it. But that, that's very rare. It does happen. But that's, I think, what people don't understand about science. They're like, oh, but people regret transgender surgeries. Dude, it's like a 1% regret rate. And I know that really sucks for the individuals who do regret it. Because they unfortunately have complications, which is like less than 1% of people who get surgeries. And like, you have to understand, 1% is bad. But other surgeries, like knee surgery, for example, have like a 30% or something like that regret rate. That's huge. Like, are you kidding me? So people still get knee surgeries, even though there's like a 30% regret rate. Why would you be like angry that people are getting a surgery that has a 1% regret rate? I don't get it. Some people get a knee surgery and it destroys their life. Do you not understand like how bad that can be? If you have a complication in like knee surgery, you lose the rest of your leg. Like, do you understand? People get these surgeries all the time. We're already living in risk just by leaving like the caves, but we have to take risks in order to live life, right? Like if you leave the cave, you might be susceptible to certain animals and the weather. But if you just lived in the cave all day, you're just going to die because you're not getting any food. Like, right? We live in survival. We are survivors. It's what we do. What? Why am I not able to send? What? Oh, is it because I already sent? What? What is going on? Why am I not able to send mail? Do I need to reload? Quantum mechanics? I mean, see, those things are a little bit more fuzzy. We have less of a confidence level. You need to understand that theories are only accepted as theories because there is a certain minimum confidence level. Some of those are more confident. Like we know the sun emits radiation. We're like 99.999999998% sure that the sun in our solar system emits solar radiation. Okay, but it's still true. You're not going to say, oh, but I don't believe in that because it's not 100% true. Like, are you serious? And we're pretty damn sure it doesn't support life, but there's a chance we're wrong. Do you understand? Like it might be like, instead of 999998, it's like 9999997. We're like 99.99997% sure that there's no life on the sun. There might be some kind of solar being that exists that we're not aware to we're not even able to measure. But like, we're pretty damn sure there isn't. But we're less sure of that than we are about radiation existing, right? We understand radiation is the thing that exists. It's not just a 1%. It is. It's like less than 1% regret rate among people who get the surgery. It's like 1%. It's like, this is a literal, like, this is like actual data that we have in the medical field. If you look at all the freaking data, we have like a 1% regret. Oh, it's not 1%, it's 1.01%. Like, stop being a pedantic loser. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Like, oh, it's not 1%, it's 1.01%. You're wrong. Stop it. Go back to Reddit. Like, what the fuck? Fucking weirdo. Yeah, anyway, I think I'm done for today. I got stuff to do today. I gotta get ready. I gotta eat breakfast. I gotta do all that stuff. Finish my coffee. Thumpalina. Yeah, so it's not 8%. You're just wrong. Why would I take anybody who's just not even intellectually honest seriously? Like, you're just lying. I don't know where you got this information. I don't date anyone really, but I am polyamorous and I'm pansexual, so I'm into whoever makes me feel safe and that I'm attracted to. That's what pansexual means. Life on Sun? It's not a new hypothesis. But like I'm saying, we're like 99.9997% sure that there's no life on the sun. So we're gonna pretty much say that there's no life on the sun. Like, we're close enough to say that we're sure there's no life. Okay? It doesn't mean it's like completely undeniably false. Like it's just not likely, right? That's what science is. We say we're pretty damn sure that this thing is true. Listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He knows what he's talking about. Listen to Bill Nye the Science Guy. He knows what he's talking about. Why are you getting angry? So who says I'm getting angry? That's your assumption right there. You think I'm getting angry. I'm just talking. Because I'm talking with a firm, confident, deliberate voice, you call that angry? Then I guess I'm angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Rebecca, smash! Who says you're still... See, this is the thing. If you have multiple verified sources that give you data that are third party, don't have an agenda, and you have this data that's high quality data, it's obviously not 100% high quality. Like I said, it's confidence levels. If you have enough data to point you to that you're like 99.9% sure that what your hypothesis is true, you bet water bears would live there? I don't know about that. They'd probably evaporate. Or maybe they would. I don't know. See, we don't know. There might be some undetectable form of life that we don't understand. It might even be all around us. Life could, there could be, we've already found like evidence of like bacteria that might be able to exist in raw space. Okay, like there's so many things we don't understand. Where's the data? Okay, come on, stop it. You know where to find the data. Use Google Scholar. Like, go look for it yourself. I'm not going to do all this work for you. I don't understand why people who make claims based on data are somehow responsible for supplying you 100% of our research to you. I'm not going to do the work for you. I'm going to tell you what I've determined based on what I've read and understand. Go do it yourself. I encourage you to. Go to a library. Go read a book. Go research yourself, bruh. No, you understand what I'm saying? You might also not be like trained in how to understand that data too. I might not be. I'm definitely not. What I'm trying to tell you is at some point you stop harassing people and denying them basic human existence just because you think the data might be wrong, when the data overwhelmingly suggests that transgender healthcare is not only safe, but it like improves people's quality of life significantly. And there's obviously going to be a certain percentage of people that have a regret. And it's like 1% of people who get the surgery have a complication or a regret. And honestly, even if I had a complication, I would have never regretted doing it. I would have felt miserable about it, but I would have never regretted. I'd be like, at least I tried, right? So even people who have complications don't necessarily regret it. Calm down. Oh, there's a woman out of control because she has emotions, but I'm going to punch a hole in a wall and that makes me a man. Like what? Come on. You think because a woman has emotions and is confident in how she speaks that she's out of control? What the fuck? You guys are just proving more and more that I'm a woman. You guys treat me like you treat other women. You guys are incels. What do you define as getting mad? Exactly. Like what the fuck, guys? You're bringing negative energy into my vibes. I don't know why we're going on and on about this topic. You guys are crazy. Hey. We got some gold farm today. We made some gold. We talked about some stuff. I think we had a pretty good stream. Anyway, see you guys later. '07 in the chat. Come on. You know you want to. '07, '07, '07. I can't stop doing this until somebody says '07 in the chat. Come on. I'm not gonna end the stream until somebody says 07 in the chat. Come on, guys. You guys are torturing me. What are you doing? Say 07 already. Do it, do it, do it, do it. You guys are making me crazy. You guys are making me do all sorts of things just to stay alive. What the hell? Because I hate you? Of course I do. You guys are in my chat. I look down on you. See, you guys are like literally physically on the monitor down here. I'm above you. Don't you understand? There we go. I accept that as an 07. You're not going to game the system. It's fundamentally a 7. It's fundamentally a 7. You can't game the system. I accept it as an 07. Okay.